Hey sis, what tried to silence you will now be the fuel for your comeback. I know it's hard starting over after you have built something that you thought would last forever, whether it would have been a job that you had worked so hard to maintain. You even climbed up the ladder, getting great performances for your evaluation, or you worked hard to keep the family together and you ended up in a divorce, or a friendship that may have ended after 20 plus years. It is just a way that God is telling you that it was time to pivot, to move differently than you've ever done. Sometimes we get complacent and we don't want to change until change happens involuntarily. And it breaks our heart. It makes us feel like, wow, did God forsake me? Or did I do something wrong? No, it's just time for a new season to show up in your life. And it can show up in a lot of disappointment. But listen, girl, don't even get don't even get upset about it. Because it was purposeful. You see, the pain that you experienced, you can use that now to build an empire, to help your other sisters out, to be that person who can be resourceful for something you may have thought you lost, and now another person is going through a similar situation. You're able to build them up through inspiration, encouragement, or be a resource for them financially. You don't know why things happen. None of us do. But what I do know is all of that can be used for the biggest comeback that you could ever have. You can show up in a more authentic way in this season because, let's be honest, when we're going through struggles and looking kind of busted and disgusted, we're putting a smile on our face, but we're not really living our true authentic selves. But when you let go of all of the push and pull and the struggles, it's like a burst of energy just takes over and you live and you move differently. So don't cry over what was lost. Don't live in a silent place now because hurt can make you shut down. Going through a bad breakup can make you just fall back in your life and live with a lot of regrets and cry about what was, but no longer will you live in that season. It's time to get up, girl. It is time to take all of the tragedies, honey, and turn it into triumph. Build up your new empire. Work your life like you've never worked it before. How do you do that? You get a new vision for your life. And you begin to put things together by asking God to help you, to assist you, to give you that creative space and a different perspective about your life. No longer will you be a stranger to yourself because now you have an opportunity to find out what is it that you truly want in this season. How do you really want to express yourself out loud? That job may have folded, but hey, why not start anew by building your own company, doing something great for yourself? You might like jewelry and you want to open up a boutique. And I always say that. I always say that. And I know sometimes people will say, girl, you always talking about building and doing things for yourself. Because if you don't have a vision for your life, you will always work for someone else who does. In this economy in which we live in, it is sad to see the state of affairs on how many things are being affected by our government. But if we change our perspective and realize that what's happening is not going to silence us, but it's just going to give us enough fuel to have the biggest comeback in our lives. We've all lost something. But if you look back in hindsight, you realize that loss wasn't really a loss in every area. It gave you the ability to be creative and do things that you always wanted to do in your life. You would not have had those opportunities if you stayed stuck in a situation where you knew it truly wasn't working out. But you were complacent. You were used to the status quo. And you probably would never move out of that position because it was a comfort zone. I get it. Some people do not like to be pressured into change. And as a matter of fact, some people fight against the change with all that they have on the inside. They will be kicking and screaming, saying, no, please, I'm used to this. I don't know what's on the other side. But I'm here to tell you what's on the other side of pain is your purpose. What's on the other side of that tragedy is triumph. And what's on the other side of the mess that you think that your life is in right now is a beautiful message that will come out from the ashes of what you thought you lost. Girl, listen, you got this. I believe in you. Girl, you better go ahead and have the greatest comeback that you could possibly dream of in your life. You got it.